Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to DELMIA Community Summit. So welcome to our today's session around the Engineer to Manufacture or E to M story to discover and being updated on our new DELMIA MBOM authoring web tool or web app. So today you will learn how this new role can manage the engineering changes through cross-team collaboration. So in our today presentation, we will focus on this engineering to manufacturing story and especially see how it is important to manage the MBOM in the 3D Experience platform and within DELMIA. And then we'll go through and deep dive on the 3D Experience portfolio to cover the E to M story through the manufactured items. And we will finish by the most important part, which is the Manufacturing Items Manager role, or MFN, which is the web app and DELMIA role that cover this kind of E to M scenario. So we'll have and we'll see together a full demo of E to M and learn about our 2020 roadmap. So as you all know, for the engineering to manufacturing story, the MBOM is in the core of the story. So the MBOM, as you know, is the foundation of any production system, which will drive the procurement and feed all business attributes that we need to execute work orders on the shop floor. So the main business process that require MBOM are procurement, production order, and validation. So we use MBOM in the PLM platform, like the 3D Experience platform, to identify manufacturing assemblies and parts for procurement, logistic, and process planning per plant or per production site. It helps also to dispatch responsibilities between disciplines and process planners. So planners responsible for final assembly, body in white, etc. And for sure, when it is managed in the platform, it will bring a flexibility with specific manufacturing, what we call manufacturing revisions or plans or versions. So the main value to author and define the MBOM within DELMIA is to have this capability and capacity to send it easily to the ERP and all its related information and business attributes. We will ensure that we have a digital continuity with upstream applications like process planning validation, virtual build, resources simulation, or manufacturing execution system like DELMIA Aprizo. Defining an MBOM within DELMIA will also improve the efficiency of the manufacturing plan with a quick and easy way to visualize the 3D, so using the power of the platform, which is connected to the 3D data structure for sure. And it helps to quickly understand and implement engineering changes. And that's why today we are talking about the engineering to manufacturing story. So in order to accelerate new product instruction, or any product update. Okay, so the 3D Experience portfolio, as you maybe know, has two types, I would say, of applications or roles. So we have what we call native applications that you may be already aware of that. We have CATIA for the design, but we have also DELMIA process planning, work instructions, designer, robotics simulation, factory flow. Those are strong or native apps that exists since a long time. And we recently introduced some new web UIs or web application based on what we call the 3D dashboard and widget technologies. And these applications will be used to author or review the PLM data or PPR data or any kind of data coming from the 3D Experience platform. So we have some apps and widgets coming from Innovia, from DELMIA, from Simulia, etc. These are light tools, easy to deploy, and they are targeting very specific users that need only a web browser to access to the data. Okay, so in this whole 3D Experience portfolio, to cover for sure our today's story, which is engineered to manufacture or E to M, we have, as you can see on the top, the native applications, okay, with the XCAD like CATIA, SolidWorks, and so on. And on the bottom, you can see the web applications from, especially here, since we are in the E2M story, so Innovia and DELMIA. So in order to answer the core questions around digital manufacturing and engineered to manufacture scenarios, the 3D Experience platform relies upon a data model organized around, we can see, 4 primary types of content. So first, there is the engineering item, or what we call unified product structure, or design reference data, as you wish. So for the DELMIA MBOM here, this is an Innovia engineering item structure with or without 3D shapes. So you can manage the MBOM through your XCAD rich client, CATIA V5 or SolidWorks, but also you can manage it through Power BI or directly in the platform using CATIA or Innovia widgets. Next, there are the manufactured items. So this manufactured item definition data model is the MBOM, and it defines the manufacturing view of the design of the product, for sure, supporting both fabrication and as well assembly and steps transformations. So in our today's presentation, we will focus more on manufacturing items management role, web applications. You maybe know this process planning or manufacturing engineer role from rich clients. Okay, let's move. So the third type of content within our digital manufacturing strategy is the process planning content. So this is a related data model to work plans, manufacturing system, and it is a logical view of the work required to manufacture the MBOM. Okay, so in some industrial scenarios, the MBOM is viewed simply as an output of the process planning activity. So in addition to describe the sequence of activities or I would say, operations of the work to be performed to build my MBOM, process planning can also include what we call work instructions in the platform with optional 3D based view, as well as manufacturing simulation studies. So the fourth type of our content is the physical resource definition that require a definition of a process, but also of physical resource. So both, it can be a factory or facility 3D layout, as well as a factory simulation or machines or robots program generation. So this for sure will be linked together with a common change management and collectively enable the user to answer the 3 primary questions regarding what, where, and how best to produce the product. So for sure, all the created data can be easily sent to the ERP, okay, as well as scheduling or execution, something like DELMIA Aprizo for execution or DELMIA Hortense for scheduling. So let's focus more on MBOM today, and especially this web application manufacturing items management. Always in our 3D experience portfolio, at the core of a business driven by the business driven story, for sure, and the E2M. So for EBOM, MBOM, there is the pair of engineering items and manufacturing item structure that will work together to feed the ERP and other systems. So this chart, the DELMIA portfolio, highlights the related MBOM definition roles. So you can see the first role called, it's a very known role from DELMIA Process Planner that contains Manufactured Item Definition Application, Manufactured Item Manager MFN or PPV, so Process Plans Analyst, which is a web application but only use it for review. So as you can see, there are multiple roles and applications within the DELMIA portfolio which are related, I would say, one way or another to MBOM in particular. Let's deep dive in MFN today. So if I come back here, this is MFN, okay? Manufacturing Items Management. So we'll dive on MFN today. MFN, as I said, is an application to define the MBOM, is used to define the MBOM, to manage it and update it directly from the design structure or the unified product structure. So this role is a web-based client that uses the 3D product structure as an input, for sure, to author the MBOM and send it to a downstream application like manufacturing and production. So this web client authoring tool is easy to use and deploy as all the widget in the 3D experience platform. It can be used in a customized, what we call dashboard. So this dashboard is a tab with a combination of multiple widgets from different brands. So we can see MFN like a DELMIA for MBOM authoring, but with 3D Play or change management from Innovia. So this will provide immediate access to the right information to do the job. Drag and drop between widgets provides also an easy way and easy and efficient user interaction. So we are able to manage the update, define alternatives, plant responsibilities, some manufacturing decision for parts and assembly directly in MFN. So to make it simple, MFN is a 3D dashboard solution for sure from the platform, which is fully compliant with the range of other widgets from Innovia, and especially those related to EBOM definition. We will see this together in this demo, in this video, how MFN is able to manage the update and the input coming from the unified product structure. So let me launch the video up. Okay, so here we have an E2M scenario. It's a very basic one. And in today's demonstration, I will demonstrate you a scenario involving two users, okay? A design engineer here in orange, who is also acting as the leader from a change coordination perspective. So the same user here for step 1 and 3. And for sure, a manufacturing engineer in yellow who will use our today's role and application manufactured item manager. So a design engineer who is, I would say, who is also acting as a change coordination will inform the manufacturing from step 1 to step 2 to initially create an MBOM for product using a collaborative task widget from Innovia. The manufacturing engineer receives the task and its related context and proceeds for the work. Sometimes when the task is finished, okay, we are here, the design engineer determines the need for a design change, which must be for sure incorporated by manufacturing as well. So the design engineer, creates and assigns what you call change actions for both users, including some dependency between change actions. Okay, and once the work is finished and completed, the two structures, so EBOM and MBOM, are released. So in the following demonstration, we'll show how DELMIA Manufactured Item Manager role, or MFN, its trigram, can answer the E to M scenario with illustration of how our 3D experience, 3D dashboard application from multiple brands can seamlessly work together. Let's start with the step 1. So step 1 of the scenario is engineering definition, okay, and collaboration with manufacturing. So we'll see how the engineering definition is displayed in the platform and how it is communicated to manufacturing for early BOM definition. So as a design leader, here just a quick reminder, I am connected to the platform, web applications, so you can see web Google Chrome, so it is a web browser within my server in a dashboard, which is called a design, having multiple widgets, and as a design engineer, so as a user design engineer, okay? So as a design engineer or design leader, I can review the BOM in product structure explorer, so this widget from Innovia, or some other widgets like engineering release, to review the details for sure. And these Innovia 3D dashboard widgets are for sure used to create, to update, to edit the engineering definition. So they are used for authoring the EBOM and review it for sure with the support of the 3D. Okay, so here we have the same data in the two widgets, and to ensure the communication between users and other disciplines, so here in our case it will be engineering and manufacturing, collaborative tasks widget from Innovia can be used in that case, and it will be used to inform manufacturing about the existing engineering definition. So I will ask my colleague from manufacturing, to create an MBOM for the existing context. Okay, so I start by creating this task, and the context of the collaborative task will help him to easily access to the information he needs. So the task is assigned, the context of this task, let me play, will be the EBOM, in our case, cadre complet, which is unified product structure EBOM, and then the task is assigned to the right user. So in our case, manufacturing engineer or MBOM leader. So I will search in the database, assign to him, and when I will save the collaborative task, and when the task is promoted to in work, it will be available in the to-do list of the manufacturing engineer. Let's now move and we'll connect as a manufacturing engineer. So my task now is to create the MBOM and manually release it. So I log into the platform as usual in a web browser as a manufacturing engineer, and I will go and have a look on my collaborative task. I can see that there is a task assigned to me, and the context of this task is an EBOM. Okay, and it is in work now, and what I will do, I will drag and drop it in my MFN widget. So here I have my MFN widget to define the EBOM and the MBOM. Okay, so I will use MFN to see the exploded product structure. Then I can drag and drop that over the 3D viewer to get sense of what things look like. Okay. Now I will initiate, since my task is to create the MBOM. So what I will do, I will initiate the root MBOM by creating a brand new MBOM, which gets linked directly to the root of the manufacturing, of the engineering item structure. Okay, so now I will use a single command that will generate a new MBOM structure in one shot. Okay. One of the things now is about this process of automatic creation, which is reusing a user-definable business logic for which, for the sample example, has been tailored to look at the description attribute. Okay, there is a description attribute in the EBOM side to get an indicator. So you can see here we have some keywords like make, phantom, or buy, and based on that value, this user definable business logic defined on the server side is going to decide whether or not we explode that item, for example, that one, with its children as the full structure. So because we are making as make the manufacturing assembly, so you can see it here at the right with the full children and the full structure. Okay, then we have what we call phantom. Okay, and the phantom in our case does not exist in the MBOM side, and you can see that that one does not exist in the MBOM side, but all the underlined children do. So we can see cross highlighting between those items as a buy items. Okay, and they will be I would say modeled by what we call provided parts to say that they are by item. Okay. Now what I will do, I will use a contextual command to create a manufacturing kit, give it an arbitrary name, and then you will see that within the UI, we can interactively drag and drop the desired items and put them into the manufacturing kit. So you can see just by dragging and dropping, we are moving those instances into the manufacturing kit, and cross-highlighting still there. So having done this, I will now manually use the interactive lifecycle command to simply promote this item to released state. After doing this, okay, it is in a released state, I will go back to collaborative task and just move it over to the complete state. I am done with my job, and that will inform whoever sent that to us that we are done to the particular task. Let's move to the next steps. So now I will go through the step 3 and 4 of the scenario. Step 3 is change coordination. Okay, and step 4 is the update, design, or the engineering definition. So the role of step 3 is change manager or change coordinator, and the role for step 4 is design engineer or the lead of the EBOM. For the simplicity of the demo, the designer is also the change manager. So that's why we can see those users with the same color. So we are dealing with the same user in our case. Okay. So in step 3, upcoming change is identified and the corresponding change actions are raised. In step 4, you will see how the change is implemented on the engineering side. So log into the platform as a design engineer that time, okay? So we will release that specific element because we have some goals. Maybe it will be updated and modified later since it is in an in-work state. So we will release. So the current revision of cadre element AV is released now. Okay, so I will switch to release. Okay, and after release, maybe a modification is required, as I said, and this to perform this, we need a change action to be raised. So here we will raise what we call a design change action. So I will use an Innovia widget, always on the web, create the change action directly in my dashboard. Okay, and for the members, as I said, for the simplicity of the demo, the design engineer will be also the assignee and the approver of this change action. Okay, for the context, we will have the cadre element AV, which is drag and drop it in the context to create a new revision. Now, to identify all the other impacted objects in the platform, especially for those related to manufacturing, we will use what we call Relational Explorer widget, and by drag and drop, as you saw, to this particular widget, we'll identify the related manufactured item definition related to this item. So you can see that we have a scope link, a manufacturing of link, which is linked to a provided part. So there is somehow a relation with the MBOM and the root MBOM for sure as a children. So what we'll do is we will put this in a new change action, because here a change action for manufacturing is also required. Okay, so I will create a new one and push it to my colleague on the manufacturing side. So I will prepare this change action for him, okay, using, as usual, the change action widget. Okay, and here there is a dependency that should be set between engineering change action and manufacturing change action. So the dependency between the manufacturing and design ensures that manufacturing is not released before the design. So here I create somehow a link between the two change actions. And for the context, so here as a member, I will add the manufacturing engineer as an assignee and approver for sure. Okay, and for the context, So the context will be the impacted provided items or provided part, which is the cadre element AV A.1 as a provide part, and for sure it's related root MBOM. Okay, now as you can see, we are done with the not yet. We have to promote to in work the change action for design. Okay, and you can see that the cadre element AV switch it to in work as a B.1 new revision. So the design CA is now in work. Okay, and we will try to promote and to change the maturity state of cadre element AV B.1. You will see that the manual promote of the engineering item here will fail. There is a warning message, error message, because the entity under change action or is what we call change controlled or change enabled. So we will work under the change. So this is done by activating the change icon here. So we cannot release this item since it is under change control. So what we will do, we will work under change by activating the change on the collaborative lifecycle widget. And now the promotion was successful and the object is in a frozen state. So just by refreshing the widget, we will see that we are in a frozen state and the work is done. We are done with step 3. For step 4, so now we will update the engineering definition using one Innovia widget for authoring the MBOM. Let's use engineering release here. And what we'll do is using replace by latest. So the A.1 is no more available. We have to replace it by B.1. And you can see that directly in the engineering definition, the B.1 was replaced in the MBOM structure. Step 5, in this step of the scenario, the manufacturing engineer will log in into the platform as usual. So we switch from user here, and you will see that there is a notification. Okay, there are some type of change to react to which is being driven now by some design change action. So let's see and discover and investigate. Okay, we will open our change action widget, and we'll see that we have a change action related to us or assigned to us. We'll see that we are in the members and with some context. What we'll do now is, okay, that's fine. We have something to do in our side. So we will drag and drop the root or the context in the MFN widget. And we'll see that this particular cadre element AV was impacted by something in the engineering change. So using also the relational explorer. So here you can see the interaction between widgets from DELMIA and Innovia. And we can see that there is something, I would say, impacted by the engineering change. Okay, so we note that there is a new revision in the engineering side. So having explored all this impacted, now we need to perform and do something, okay? So what we are going to do is we go through a complete process using a mechanism to both revise the kit, since this cadre element AV is under a kit. So revise the kit, okay? And for sure the provided part to be synchronized with the revision as happened in on the design side. Okay, so we will now use a contextual menu. So here you can see the BI, the BI social, which actually give us an indicator to realize that some things not assigned on the engineering side. So these color-coded bubbles under these columns highlights for us an information of what actually need to get updated. So before, okay, we detect that we need to do something, okay, for the cadre element AV. And now what we'll do is we use a contextual command to do a replace with a new revision of the cadre complete as a manufacturing kit. As it proceeds, it will add the context, a new reference in the UI. So we will just remove it from our view to simplify things. And then just by refreshing our view, we will see the new structure here of the ref bay of the ref B, sorry, of the kit. So still, but still the original children of ref bay of the cadre element A.1. So what I need to realize that we are in a change fashion mode, okay? So we need to work under a change action. So I will drag and drop my manufacturing oriented change action over the construction hat. So it becomes yellow here and indicates that we are going in to work under kind of mode. Now the BI, to remind myself what's going to be adjusted. So I use this function called change impact management. So it will analyze the structure and figure out how there is an item in the structure which need to be revised and reconnected. So it was detected automatically by this kind of command. So now what I will do, I will revise and reconnect this item, and this suggestion to perform was revise and reconnect, meaning revise the ref A in the EBOM to a ref B and reconnect it up to its corresponding engineering item. I apply, and now everything is okay. So what happened is that the system in one shot will do the revision, replace, and reconnect all together and be synchronized with the EBOM. Okay, so it is in work, that's fine, because it is B.1, so a new item. And now what I will do is I will promote, so I will freeze my items, and then so as I said, the change action for manufacturing was in work initially. I'm trying to promoting it to froze, but what happens now is we cannot do it because we have a change actions dependency, if you remember well, between engineering and manufacturing. So the one you can see here in this warning message. So this is the key concept of how to orchestrate the behavior between different teams, so engineering and manufacturing, to be sure that MBOM is not published before the design has finalized their work. So that's why I'm talking about E to M story and the real team cross-team collaboration. Step 6 of the scenario. So here we will release the EBOM. So the change action is in work. Okay, the design one for the realized change is in a frozen state, as you can see it. So the CA, the change action now need to be promoted to in approval state. And as a reviewer of the change action, we can complete it and put some message to say, okay, that's fine, the EBOM is fine, and I want to complete my change action. So you can see that the change action is complete, and now also it will release the engineering definition of the engineering item, and the cadre element B.1 is released, as you can see it in the change action widget. Okay, so it is released in the EBOM side, and this is fine for manufacturing. The final step of this scenario, so after the design engineers has finally approved and completed their change action and thus their related data, okay, what I will do now is release and complete my change action. So as a manufacturing engineer, I will try to approve it. I think we already done it in the video. Okay. So we will approve it, and now we will approve to say, okay, that's fine. The MBOM is complete, and I want to promote my change action. Now we will succeed, and the work is approved, and for sure the items are released. So the maturity state switched to released. We can for sure scroll over, and we will see again here that there is a maturity state, and which is the released one, and we are just modifying, so we are done. And the BI essential will show now that everything is linked up and in a good state. So now we are done with this E to M video that shows this collaboration between engineering and manufacturing using DELMIA and Innovia widgets. I will give you now an overview of what has been delivered this year for our new web UI, so manufactured item management application. Key capabilities on the R&D roadmap for this 2020 calendar year includes what is already delivered in 2020, so from January to June. So we have the cloud support starting with 20x, so FDO1 since February. So MFN is already available on the cloud. We also support configured MBOM scenarios with effectivity authoring capabilities for variant and evolution, filtering capabilities for sure from the platform directly on the web. What's next this year? We will continue enhancing and supporting the configured MBOM scenarios by introducing the automatic copy of variant effectivity from EBOM to MBOM, always supporting this E to M story. Some openness improvements on the server side, and we support what we call enterprise item number paradigm, in which a linked engineering item works as the master of manufacturing item, directly accessible for both parts. And we will continue support of usage of alternate substitutes management, which are defined, qualified within the engineering item structure as the basis of any manufacturing items objects. As of today, MFN supports alternate substitute management, but we will continue improve this data model to fully integrate the engineering definition. I'm done with my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention.